Alright, I'm back in my shop. Got the space heater on. It's starting to get cool again. And I'm going to start it off with a rock challenge. I believe these rocks are from Missouri. Yeah, looks challenging. That's why it's a rock challenge. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be rough. This looks like Burlington, I guess. This is a slab of the same stuff. Alright, so I'm just gonna test it out to see how it works. See how it goes. So I got back from my trip. I went out of town. And I was napping. I got a chance to nap while I was out of town in my friend's garage. But that's all the napping I did. Everything else was dealing with taxidermy stuff and that sort of thing. So I got to see a bunch of trophy animals, and their nice big antlers that were not mine. Yeah. Very interesting stuff. The antlers. This is interesting too. This naps well, this labbed piece. So this is not going to be a challenge. This is easy. Let's see what this is. What is it? Is it raw or heat treat or chalky or nice? Let's see. I don't know. It seems okay. It's a little bit rough. Let's see. Let's try to knock off a piece off of this. This is much rougher. Oh, someone let out Mr. Barks a Lot. My daughter's dog. He might be barking through the whole video. This is considerably rougher than the other pieces. Yeah. This big one. Considerably rougher or more difficult to nap. Yeah, it breaks up easy also. So it's snap in half-ish. If you can't get long flakes off the core, if they snap in half off the core, it gives you an indication that it's snap in half-ish type of chert. I'm going to try for another one. Another big spall. I hesitate to hit it with this big steel hammer, but I want to try to get a big spall. Here we go. There we go. It's got fossils. I would hate to mess those up. What is it? I don't know. I'm not a fossil expert, so I don't know. Should I nap this one? Yeah, let's nap it. This is the toughest one. This is not going to be too bad. I mean, it's not difficult, comparatively speaking. These are going to be difficult, but this one, let's see. That one's not difficult. I mean, it's mid-grade stuff as far as nappability. It looks like. Yeah, I'm choosing the big spall because people ask, usually the first question is, can you show me how to make a big blade out of what I got? I don't know why they ask that. It's not like big blades sell for a lot of money or anything. But yeah, it's the first thing they ask. Can you make a big blade out of what I got? Is it possible? What's the potential? Well, 9 times out of 10, the potential's not that good. But they already know that. They already know that if they spend 15 years knapping, they can probably get anything they want out of almost anything they gather. But they don't want to wait 15 years after practicing that long. They want to know if they can get it after 15 days. In 15 days, can I get a big blade? That's when my rent is due. Yeah. I need like 100 more bucks to pay the rent. Can I get a big blade in 15 days when my rent is due? I found a big old chunk of something down the street at my cousin's friend's uncle's dad's house. Yeah. Probably not. You're probably not going to get much out of it. Yeah. This is not bad. It's not too bad. I don't know what it is. A lot of you guys that are experts in stone from Missouri, I believe it is from Missouri. If not, I'll correct myself either in the title or in the description. Now, with most things, you can get thick bifaces. Thinning them down, even with good material, like you saw in one of the last videos, I think it was the last video, I broke 2 high quality pieces of stone in half. One with a snap and one with an overshot. If you look at the previous video, that's high quality stuff, and I broke them in half. This is mid-range, and I don't know if I can get it all that thin. Maybe. It seems like it's going to be snapping halfish type chirp because the flakes I was getting off of the core at first were snapping in half. So I don't dare go very thin with this. So the next question after, can I show you how to get a big blade, is, can you get a thin big blade out of what I got? And I'm not making fun of you, that's just the questions I get. And even if they don't ask that question, it is something they want to know, even if they don't ask. They want to see the potential. Is it going to be worth me spending years and years of my life trying to get a point out of the rocks that I have available for free, or that somebody sent me in a trade, that kind of thing. I have a feeling that some guys can knap this stuff raw, which it is. It feels raw. They can knap it raw and make beautiful stuff out of it. I'm just gonna nap it safely so I don't break it on video. And now that I'm in my shop by myself, I don't have distractions. I might be able to get something out of it. Let's see. Except for that dog barking, I don't have any distractions. It's not bad. It has potential, kind of, sort of. This appears to be the most difficult one out of the batch. So, if I can get this far with this, I can probably get further with the other ones. This is just a quick rock challenge. I got a lot of other stuff I gotta nap. I goofed around for too many days this week. Only supposed to be 2 days. I think I goofed around for 3, maybe 4, 3 days. What's today? Friday? I goofed around for 3 days. I also got access to lots of good material. As far as hides and feathers and stuff. Oh yes. So it was worth it. It was worth goofing around for 3 days. Very generous friends. I have very generous friends. Sharing their knowledge and materials. And very generous YouTube viewers and subscribers. Alright, let's see. I gotta be careful. Yeah, because if I get too many of these step fractures, I won't be able to get them out when it gets thin. And these fossils, they might present a problem. Yeah, crunchy areas where the fossils are. That's a problem. If there's too many fossils, that puts it into the low grade category. And if it's too thin if it's too difficult to thin down the thin piece, that puts it even into a lower grade. Okay, let's see. Almost got it. Almost. It went just beside that. Instead of taking it out, yeah, I put Mr. Barks-a-lot inside the house and someone let him right back out. I put him inside just before the video started. I do not know what he barks at. I have to hit this extremely hard to get it thinned down. What is the width to thickness ratio right now? Let's see. I'll do the millimeters since it's easiest. Okay, let's say it's 60 millimeter and the thickness is 15. Let's say that would make it easy. It's 4:1, right? 60 divided by 15 is 15 millimeter thick. At the thickest, it's more like 12, so it's a 5:1. Yeah, getting it thinner than 5:1 is going to be a challenge. Let's see. It might be possible. The trick is to get it thinned down without step fractures. Sometimes you can get it really, really thin, but then you have step fractures everywhere. So the object is to get it thin without step fracturing. And how do you do that? You've got to know just how much you can get away with. You got to get a feel for the stone over time and know the limits of the stone to stay within that safe zone and not try to do too much. And try not to bite off more than you can chew. Don't go thinner than 4:1 or 5:1. I'm going to try to go thinner. But as far as my recommendations go, I can recommend anything I want, but I'm going to recommend no more than 5:1 on this kind of stuff as far as the width to thickness ratio, unless you got lots and lots of experience. Or if you heat treat this, it seems like it's heat treatable. Seems that way. It might require a lot of heat, in which case not everyone can do it. Not everyone has the ability to go up over 500 degrees. This might need more than 500 degrees, but I don't know. How does the heat help? I always get questions. How does the heat help? How do you know it needs heat? And what does heat do? When you heat stone, some of it responds to heat by altering the crystal structure within the stone. It essentially recrystallizes after it cools back down. You heat it up, the crystal structure starts to become pliable. I don't know if that's the correct word, but as it cools down, the bonds reform in the stone as it cools. Make sure you cool it slowly. You know, don't quench it, because then you'll crack it. Cool very slowly so it has time to recrystallize evenly. And then try knapping it. You should be able to run flakes easier and longer without having to exert so much force. Easier means less force, less preparation in some cases, but less force to generate flakes. Less preparation means you don't have to be so perfect with the edges. You don't have to grind them down as much. That sort of thing. I feel like turning off the video and putting Mr. Barks-a-Lot back inside. Did it do it? It's doing it. Yeah, it feels like raw Burlington, I guess. Or maybe raw Novaculite. No, raw Novaculite's worse than this. Yeah. I'm pushing the limits. Let's see if I can get 6:1 with the thickness ratio. All right, let's see what we got. Let's say 50 millimeter. 10 is actually the thickest. So I definitely got 5:1. Now 50. Let's see what I got here. The thinnest I can get, or the thinnest in there, is 8. 8 times 6 is 48. So that's almost 6:1 down here. It's still thicker up here in this area, but that's okay. It's not bad to be thick up here above the stem. Okay, let's try to put some notches in it. I gotta prepare the base first. I got a pad. I can try to use the slotted pad. I forget that I lose track of where I am on the pad, and I end up knapping like outside of the notch. So it's just another thing to pay attention to, is make sure you're in the notch. Right? Right. Oh no. This is not nice. Okay. It's slippery. The steel slips on this stuff. So, I'm going to use the indirect percussion to do these little flakes. Yeah, the pressure flaking is going to drive me nuts. Because it slips. I need to use copper or aluminum pressure flaker or something that won't slip as much. Why doesn't the steel percussion flaker slip very much? I don't know. It probably does, but it's got so much power behind it that it doesn't matter too much. That would be my guess. So I'll do the regularizing with indirect percussion. This is where that fossil was on this side. You can still see a little bit of the fossil there. Good, Mr. Barks a lot moved to a different part of the yard. That's good. But there's not too much to talk about while I'm doing this. I have to focus. Can you see? The background is kind of light in color. I need to get another towel. And I'm moving the debitage so I don't have to worry about dropping this on one of those pieces of debitage. Now, it's not all debitage. It's not all waste. I can use some of it for other projects if I ever get around to them. Making small arrowheads and stuff. What did they do back in the day with the debitage? Well, it depends on what point style they're making. If the debitage is not big enough for the point style, they just throw it away. Or gather it up in a big pile, and whoever needs flakes just goes to the big pile and get a flake, you know, to cut some meat or cut some hair, get a haircut. Hey mom, I need a haircut. All right, go get a flake out of the stack. Make sure it's a sharp one, or you're going to be tortured when I cut your hair. And you just grab some hair, cut it with a flake, grab some more hair, cut it with a flake. No scissors back in the day. I gotta be careful. It step fractures easily. There's a different mindset for avoiding step fractures with large flakes than the mindset for avoiding step fractures with small flakes. It's a different mindset. How is it different? With the small flakes, what you got to avoid is not enough force. You have to avoid the not enough force thing. It's very difficult because you're not using much force to begin with the small flakes. With the big flakes, the thing to watch out for is the crushing of the edge, because you're using a lot of force, and that's when edges start to crush and that sort of thing. You don't have to worry too much about edge crushing with little bits of force with the small flakes. That's the difference in simplified terms. There's a lot of other subtleties and nuances and persnicketies, but I think you get the idea, generally speaking. Little flakes, little bit of force. Big flakes, a lot of force. And there are pros and cons for each type of force you're using. The angles are the same, it's just the amount of force is different. Some might say, no, the angles are different too. Yeah, maybe there's subtle differences, but there's no way you can see the differences. Maybe you can feel the differences. So to produce a nice clean surface is going to require more effort. If I put in a lot of effort with my skill level, if a new guy is watching it, he'll think, oh, I just need to put more effort into it and I'll get the same result. No. If I put a lot of effort into it, I'm drawing on many, many years of experience. When you are new and you put a lot of effort into it, you're not drawing on years of experience. You're just trying to remember everything and try to do everything right. I already memorized what I need to do. I just tweak it ever so slightly and focus more intently. That's all I need to do. You need to remember everything and focus more intently and be more careful and all that. If you're new, you don't have the muscle memory. If you've napped less than 400 pounds of rock, you're still new. Unless you're a prodigy, and there are prodigies out there. Just like there's 4-year-old kids that can play the piano beautifully. That kind of thing. There are people that can nap beautifully after only a few months or a few weeks. But not everyone can play the piano at 4, and not everyone can nap beautifully with only weeks or months of practice, or less than 400 pounds of stone. Under their belt. Okay. Did it do it? It did it kind of, sort of. It didn't spread out enough. Yeah. It didn't spread out enough to... See, it went in this direction, but it stopped here. See, I hit it right here. It went that direction, okay, it was alright, but it didn't go any further in this direction. You can see the flake, right? I didn't shoot the flake in this direction. I shot it straight inward, and it's supposed to fan out in both directions. But it hit a wall here. Probably because it was already lumpy there. And tried to bite off too much. and it's step fractured. Yeah. Too thick. Too tough. Okay, let's do some notches before it gets late. I gotta upload this video and do a bunch of stuff tonight. All right, let's see. I should start the notch with something else. You know, with a regular pressure flaker, because the notch-o-matic many times will remove too much of the edge when it starts. What is the notch-o-matic? Just look at the video that has notch-o-matic in the title. I made one not long ago on how to use it. It's not my invention. Mr. Ted Snyder invented it, as far as I know. I do need a pad for this. Let's see. I can. It says these pants are not as tough as my jeans. Oh, I can use this. There you go. Just use a glove, a white glove, so you can't see. Yeah. All right. What else can I use? Piece of leather, but this is stiff leather. Stiff. I need something that has a little bit of give to it, because I have not made my pointy flaker yet. A pointy flaker would be able to get in there without... See this bottom part sticking out right there? It hits the backing. If the backing's tough, it won't notch right. It has to clear through the notch when you know, pull the trigger. It's got to clear the notch, go all the way through, and this part down here is going to hit the pad. If it's soft, it doesn't matter. If it's too soft, it pokes me. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, and discomfort while napping is distracting. Let's see if I can still do it anyway. Let's see if I can still do it. I don't have a piece of soft leather in 5 seconds. I don't have it accessible within 5 seconds. Okay. I have to widen the notch. Widen the notch. Why do I have to widen the notch? Because I'm stalling it. And if I just hit a small area, there's not much room in there. And I don't have many options. I got to keep hitting the same spot over and over again. And if I'm hitting the same stalled spot, I just make it more and more stalled. But if I weaken one side of the stall, if I weaken one side, I can flip it over and then hit that one side and maybe pop another flake out so it's not stalled anymore. But it's not working all that well. And holding it, this is the problem I have with vertical punches. I can't see. When I put my fingers to hold it, I can't see if it's in the right spot. What is the right spot? The spot that works. The spot that works for me might not be the spot that works for you. So there's no spot that I can tell you exactly. Whatever works, that's the spot. There we go. So I just hit it where it was weak to try to get flakes to come off. That's the secret of not stalling it. Sometimes you can knock off these step fractures. Yeah. Let's see. I'm not gonna do it. I can probably do it, but it's too risky. So I'm gonna take a flake from the side, see if I can thin down that area just ahead of the notch. This is risky, but it's not as risky as keeping on hitting. It's not as risky as hitting it continuously. Yeah, there we go. It's not as risky as hitting it continuously in a spot that's thick. I might be able to. Well, I almost got that step fracture out of there. Let's see. Why do I want that out of there? So the next pop out doesn't stop there. I need one more pop out on this side and one more on that side to deepen that notch sufficiently. I'm gonna throw this point at Mr. Basalt. Did it do it? I think it did it. Yeah, it blasted through there. All right. What am I doing here? I'm just getting rid of anything that's way too delicate. And sometimes when you pop out a flake, it's way too delicate and it doesn't have enough material to resist the strike to produce a flake. It just crunches right there. It's got to resist the strike a little bit so that the flakes will be produced. I'm not using much force at all with this tool. All right, good enough. There we go. Not exactly what I wanted, but it did something. That step fracture might be a problem. Okay. Starting to stall. That's why I'm saying, okay. It's not supposed to start to stall already. It's too soon for it to start stalling. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put Mr. Barks-a-Lot back inside. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully no more barking for a little while, but I don't like dividing these videos up because when I rejoin them, many times the sound is off. It doesn't sync properly. And if the sound is off, I am not going to post the video. So I took a chance, but that was just driving me nuts. Okay, because this part is highly stressful to try to get these notches in place, or to get these notches installed. Highly stressful, and I don't want a distraction. just firing away, using more and more force as I go to see if anything happens. I got some flakes, but nothing major. Yeah. Nothing promising. So what did I do to get it to flake a little bit more? I stole some material off of this side and made it thin right there. So I was able to pop off a flake here. But it didn't thin down this area at the bottom enough. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. It did thin it down enough. All right. I heard the back door open to the house. That means someone might have let Mr. Basalt back out. I hope not. I hear sniffing at the door of my shop. There's somebody sniffing right there. We'll hope it's not you know who. Yes, okay. See, I don't even know the potential of this tool yet. I'm thinking, nah, it's not going to work. And then all of a sudden, pop, out comes a flake. And sometimes I'm thinking, oh, here comes a flake, but nothing happens. Like right there, I was thinking, oh, I can get a flake right there, but nothing happens. There it is. I don't like that sound. Yeah, that's a better. If it sounds too smacklish, it means that I'm not making firm contact with the base of that notch. It's got to be in firm contact. If it's up above it, it'll smack into the stone. Sometimes I can't tell if it's making firm contact or not. Feels like it is, but as I'm pulling back on the spring, it may be loosening that contact. Anyway, I think I shouldn't push it any further. Alright, so here we go. Clean it up, call it good. And make the video not so long so that when I join these pieces together, they'll sync properly with the sound. Some of you might be saying, well, it's ruined by the dog anyway. Yeah. Alright. Slippery. How do you overcome the slipperiness if you have no choice but to use steel or whatever is slippery? You just have to put your steel pressure flaker up higher on the platform and then push down more. So you're not going to get long flakes, but at least you'll get some flakes. It's not too bad. I guess if I rough it up enough, it grips all right. Or well enough. All right. Why didn't I thin down that base earlier? I don't know. Sometimes I forget. What kind of point is this? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys to tell me what it resembles. Besides, this is not a replication channel anyway. I don't replicate things. I just do whatever's good enough on most of my videos. I do have some videos on this channel that you can see I try to do specific point styles, but I don't go into depth too much, even on those. As long as it meets the criterion or it's within tolerances, it's good enough. As long as it meets the basic criterion or it's close enough, it's good enough for this channel. So you guys can tell me what this is or what it resembles, because I don't know. I mean, I know what it resembles, but not out of this material from this location. Or I think it's from Missouri, right? This material. It's raw, yeah. I don't think it's heat treated. I'm not able to use the maximum amount of pressure flaking power because I have to nap way away from myself to keep this in frame. Normally when I'm pressure flaking, powerful pressure flakes, I'm down here like this or closer to myself. And right now the camera's bumping up against my chest, so I can't get, I can just barely get what I'm doing. That might work. Yeah, I think that you can see. You know, use the legs as a little bit of leverage. I don't want to put too much pressure on these barbs though. But I do need to sharpen them. Now some of you guys might have this material available to you for free or whatever, and you're thinking, I cannot get a point like that out of it. Well, it may be I just got lucky. Yeah. On some of these critical flakes to thin it down. So don't feel too bad. Still a little wonky. I might be able to go deeper on the notches, but I would have to hit it pretty hard. Pull back on that spring a lot to get it to penetrate these thick areas, because it is getting pretty thick there. No, on the real ones, they're big pop outs probably. But I'm not going to take that kind of risk. Not when I can just stop there and call it good. Okay, so yeah, it feels like raw Burlington or something. Okay. See, Michael didn't tell me what it was, I don't think. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that is Mr. Barks a lot. Someone let him out again. What I could do is take back this edge a little more and try to hit a flake into there. I could, yeah, I think I'll try that. Let's see how much time. I think I can still put these two together, these two segments together, without the sound being off. Hopefully. Yeah, it would be nice if I could take off some more of that lump and then do the width, the final width to thickness ratio. All right. Okay. See, lucky. I think that's lucky. Yeah. Flakes like that one, those are lucky. Don't push your luck. My subconscious is saying, don't push your luck. I'm looking for places to push my luck. I don't see any though. None that are within reason. Every opportunity to push my luck looks too risky. Oh, come on. All right. Can't see the edge, the same color as the glove. I'm just crudely pressure flaking it, nothing special. I don't know, I'm probably taking too much off of these barbs. Good enough. There you go. All right. So that's the rock challenge. I don't know what type of point that is. Or I could have made it, maybe I could have made it a little bit different so it looks like something else. I think hardened points have these barbs up higher. So it does not look like a hardened point to me. But I might be wrong. I tried to get these notches as deep as I could without taking too much excessive risk. I can probably try again and maybe get a few more pop outs, but it's risky, so I'm not going to do it. All right, so that's it. Yeah, good enough. Oh, wait, I got pliers. I got tweezers. All right? I found my tweezers. These things, so I don't have to hold it with my hand. Right? Okay, that's it.